Can we all stop pretending that Edward Snowden, the former National Security Agency contractor who defected to Russia with massive troves of US intelligence secrets, can we all stop pretending that he was a whistleblower or a civil liberties activist or even just a journalist now? And can we just acknowledge what is evident, that he was an anti-American spy who has put the West in grave danger? I mean, it's been obvious for years. I mean, if you believe in civil liberties, you don't first fly to China, as Snowden did, and then fly to Russia. That's what spies do. You don't plan your espionage in advance of going to work for the NSA, as Snowden now admits he did. And if you're really about protecting civil liberties of Americans, you don't release information about how the United States government fights its foreign enemies, which is exactly what Snowden did and exactly why the Chinese and Russians love him so much. Oh, and now the Islamic State loves him too. See, according to the New York Times, Snowden's stolen national security documents, which were published online, have been reviewed by the Islamic State's leaders who have changed their operations. Here, let me quote from the New York Times. Ready? The Islamic State has also studied revelations from Edward J. Snowden, the former National Security Agency contractor, about how the United States gathers information on militants. A main result is that the group's top leaders now use couriers or encrypted channels that Western analysts cannot crack to communicate, intelligence and military officials said. Now, the reason I quote the New York Times is because it's a liberal standard. It's soft on terrorism, it loves Obama, it's soft on America's enemies. So if they're saying this, you know it's true. This can't be written off as some fear-mongering by a right-wing, pro-Pentagon journal. It's actually worse than that. See, the New York Times, along with our own CBC, was part of the original list of media organizations that Snowden contacted after he defected, who agreed to be used by him to publish those confidential documents. See, in the past that would have been called treason, or at least espionage, for a spy like Snowden to steal confidential government documents, flee to an enemy country, and then send the fruits of his thefts to the New York Times and the CBC to get them to aid and abet his publication of those national secrets. That would have been prosecuted in an earlier decade when the United States still had self-respect and an instinct of self-preservation. It would have been like a Nazi spy embedded at the Pentagon in the 40s, flying to Berlin and then leaking details about D-Day plans to American media. Snowden is a spy, not a hero, and the Times and the CBC are even lower than him because they agreed to be used by him, and in fact they agreed to pay him, or at least his henchman, Glenn Greenwald. It's quite something that the New York Times, which helped leak these state secrets, is now reporting that these secrets are helping the Islamic State. They must be so proud, because they are indirectly responsible for the continued mass murder and mass rape and slavery that the Islamic State is perpetrating. I wonder why they left out their own role in this scandal from their latest report. For TheRebel.media, I'm Ezra Levant.